If you're thinking of upgrading your military discharge, there's one question that's on everyone's mind, which is how long is this process going to take? In this video, we're going to talk about the timelines that the DRB and BCMRs are required to follow under federal law. We're also going to talk about the practical timelines that actually exist. And then we're going to talk about some of the things that veterans can do in order to avoid delays or even speed up the application review process. My name is Kevin Courtney. I'm a former Marine Corps judge advocate and the founder of the Courtney Military Law Group. I help veterans upgrade their discharges and correct their military records. So the first question that veterans often are looking to get an answer on is how long is this process going to take? And unfortunately, the answer is it varies. But there are some components that a veteran can look to get a general understanding. The federal law under 10 USC section 1557 outlines the goals that these boards are supposed to abide by. So for example, 90% of the applications are supposed to be decided within 10 months, and then all of them are going to be decided within 18 months. But that depends because the Discharge Review Board doesn't get as many applications in total compared to the boards for correction of military or naval records. It's simply because the DRBs are focused only on discharge upgrades, whereas the BCMRs are dealing with all of these different issues, including discharge upgrades. So let's talk about what can change the speed in which the board reviews your case. The first thing is going to be whether you request a personal appearance hearing. A personal appearance hearing is where the board sends you typically a Teams link or maybe a Zoom link, and you get to appear for about an hour and answer any of their questions that they have remaining on your petition, or if you want to provide one last statement to the board. But that's going to add several months of logistical planning and scheduling in order for the board to accommodate your request and then ultimately make a decision based on that hearing. If you only seek a document review for your petition, then the board on its time can go through your documents and make a decision on your case, which will cut down on your overall processing by a few months. Now, there are some cases that are supposed to have expedited review, and those are any of the cases that fall under liberal consideration. Liberal consideration applies to PTSD, TBI, military sexual trauma, or other mental health concerns. And if you have questions on what liberal consideration is, I did a video up here that explains what that looks like. So how can you speed up your application? The first thing is going to be making sure that when you submit your petition, you have a complete application that has all of the necessary military records, medical records, a complete and sound personal statement, and then any other supporting character evidence or documentary evidence. If you give the board a complete package, then you're not going to go back and forth sending them additional evidence that they're requesting. Incomplete packages are going to be one of the number one reasons for why boards take more time on those applications compared to the ones that are ready to go from the moment they've been submitted. Now that you know how the timelines work, don't wait. The Discharge Review Board has the authority to review petitions up to 15 years after you were discharged, so long as the discharge did not come from a general court-martial. After that, the boards for correction of military or naval records have the authority to review petitions that are older than 15 years or came from a general court-martial. If you want to build your petition right the first time, feel free to use the description in the link below and request a consultation where we can work with you to ultimately put together a petition that works on your behalf and it's complete the first time around. If this information is helpful, like the video and subscribe to the channel because it shows me that this is the kind of stuff that veterans want to know, and I'm happy to put out this content. And I will say, if you have more questions or you're interested in knowing more, I've got an additional video that you can watch here.